So in process inspection is going on. In that we have completed marker making and spreading and cutting. Now we are doing sewing. In process inspection in sewing involves the inspection of work from various operators to see if what they are producing meet the requirements or established quality standards or not. And a provision for operators to re-inspect and repair entire bundles in case the requirements are not met. The decision on where to place inspection stations will be influenced by various factors such as the importance of operations and controlling troublesome or key operations. Since inspections can often be performed for two or more operations at the same time, in-process inspection can be established at various inspection points in sewing operations as opposed to the inspector literally selecting work at each operator's workstation. First, a complete manufacturing process chart should be made, clearly identifying the production or manufacturing steps for each type of garment made. For example, figure shows such a flow chart which will identify important or critical operations, which in turn will help decide where inspection should take place. So this is the figure. In-process inspection in sewing machines involves the inspection of work from various operators to see if what they are producing meet the requirements or established quality standards or not, and a provision for operators to re-inspect and repair entire bundles in case the requirements are not met. The decision on where to place inspection stations will be influenced by various factors such as the importance of operations, and controlling troublesome or key operations. Since inspections can often be performed for two or more operations at the same time, in-process inspection can be established at various inspection points in sewing operations as opposed to the inspector literally selecting work at each operator's workstation. First, a complete manufacturing process chart should be made, clearly identifying the production or manufacturing steps for each type of garment made. So what is the author saying is, there are various inspection points in sewing operations, and one or two or more operations can be checked at the same time by the inspector. Suppose I am in a classroom and I am inspecting students. I can inspect at the same time whether there is a uniform for the student, whether he is late to the class, whether he has brought the record book or notebook, whether he is writing the notes or not. So many points can be inspected by one person about one person. So similarly, sewing operations can be at one inspector can inspect so many things, so many items can be inspected at a time. So these inspection points or stations should be carefully selected so that the operations to be checked are neither covered by the latter operations nor necessitate it's wrong, English is wrong, necessitate, there won't be T, so necessitate ripping good work or repair a defect. Inspection stations should provide a uniform workload for each inspector and should minimize the elapsed time between the completion of an operation and its inspection. Each operator should be told what standard of work is acceptable and what is not. There should be a written quality specification for each job in the manufacturing process. Whenever possible, a sketch of garment parts such as shown in figure 4.182 should be included, illustrating how they are supposed to appear after completion. Dimensions and tolerances for critical operations must be included. Knowledge of the factors that create problems in a particular operation helps determine the specific dimension or characteristic to be inspected or maintained. Each inspector should be clearly told what to look for while inspecting various operations. So what are the quality characteristics of a shirt? So meeting of underarm seams. So underarm seams, single needle seam. So that's what. So underarm seam is one of the inspection point. Inspection stations should provide a uniform workload for each inspector and should minimize the elapsed time between the completion of an operation and each operator should be told what standard of work is acceptable and what is not. So each operator should be told by the production department or a company person so that what quality is expected, and each operator should be told so what is the standard of work they are expected in that his duty. So that is what it is. So there is no standard amount of inspection that will provide the right balance between quality and cost for all types of garments and production methods. It is advisable to plan on having enough inspectors so that on the average every fourth bundle is inspected and no operation ever goes longer than 4 hours without being inspected. So no operation should go without inspection for 4 hours. That means every 4 hours there should be some kind of inspection. So this is what one more important point is 4 hours. Please remember that. More important or difficult operations should be inspected at a higher frequency than once every 4 hours. So it is similar to a class situation. More important and or difficult operations should be inspected at a higher frequency than once every 4 hours. Suppose if in a class if a dull student is there then he must be checked or inspected more often in a class, or more tests should be conducted, or more assignment should be given, or something like that. So similarly, in a sewing machine also, more difficult operations, so here should be checked even before 4 hours. So limit for 4 hours is for regular normal things, but more important or difficult operations can be checked more often. The daily volume of garments produced should decide the number of inspectors and not the number of operators. Studies have shown that usually 15 to 20% of the operation in any one plant will cause 65 to 85% of the defects. Most inspections at in-process checkpoints can be performed rapidly without sacrificing accuracy, and quite large units of inspection should be expected of inspectors each day. However, although the workload of inspectors should be paced and they ought to be well supervised, it is inadvisable that they be put on an incentive system. They must be allowed enough time to inspect in greater detail when necessary and to carefully explain the quality problems of supervisors. Therefore, inspectors should be salaried rather than piece-rated employees. As with all inspection activities, the thoroughness of the inspection is more important than the quantity. So, the thoroughness of the inspection is more important than quantity inspected. That means the quality of the quality inspection or garment inspection should be very high, and it should be thorough and is more important than quantity inspected. Low and low coke is the following seaming and assembly defects. So we have defects, sewing defects, seaming defects, and assembly defects. But before that, I will show you one video talking about in-process inspection of sewing.
మా పాప పేరు వచ్చి ప్రవళిక. ఆమెకు ఎన్ని సంవత్సరాలు?
So please check this video. So this is not a sewing inspection, it is QC inspection. So whatever it is, you see how thoroughly she is checking everything. So this is in process inspection. And this is actually final inspection after the product is made. Checking the zippers. We have to thank this 3M TV.
अभी बस अभी बुक अभी गो.
So अभी बस एक ऐड आया anyway. So I want to show you actually what is sewing. So everybody knows sewing, so I don't need to show what is sewing, or I will show after 5-10 minutes. So I'll try to show you one video, because 1 minute video or something, if I get it, about sewing, and you will understand. There is nothing to understand anyway, but you see this one.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Garment Sewing Basics class. My name is Sienna and I'm the content producer here at Seymour. As I mentioned in our last class, I'm usually behind the camera as the videographer and video editor. But because of COVID-19, I'm filming and teaching this class here in my home studio with Otis.
What happened?
In this class, we picked a pattern that features a handful of garment basics. What do I mean by garment basics? Basics are details that you'll commonly find when sewing garments, like pockets, buttons, and buttonholes, bust darts, and collars. The Willis tab has all of these. That's why it's an ideal pattern for exploring some fundamental sewing techniques. Willis is a sleeveless button-up with a relaxed, comfortable fit, but it features bust darts for some shaping. When you make it, you'll learn how to sew a button placket, stand collar, darts, bias tape, and this really cute patch pocket with a little button closure. There are 2 hemlines to choose from, a longer shirt tail hem and a shorter straight hem. The construction is exactly the same for both versions, but I'll be making both in this class so I can share different methods and tips for each step along the way. There are so many different ways to accomplish a sewing task, and part of the adventure is learning what works best for you. This button-up looks really great worn over skinny jeans or tucked into high-waisted pants or skirts. It's a great layering piece to wear under your favorite blazer or cardigan, and in issue 67 of Seamwork magazine, you can find 3 different hacks for Willis. In this class, I'll walk you through some fun fabric options, but keep in mind that this top is designed for wovens. In the next lesson, I'll cover fabric and supplies.
The classroom by Seamwork. It's not a very useful, but I learned some words. Dots. We learned some words. Dots. Dot. What is a dot? So we will come to that. Next, let's go to this sewing defects. Needle damage as evidenced by holes, picked threads, ruptured threads, or other damage to the fabric caused by wrong size or type of needle, blunt needle, needle heat, or machine feeding difficulty. So what is the problem? Wrong size of the needle. Wrong size of the needle, wrong type of the needle, blunt needle, heat of the needle, machine feeding difficulty. So these are the 5 points in the first point. What will they cause? They will cause holes, ruptured threads, and other damage to the fabric. Second point, feed damage, particularly on thicker or sheer fabrics or when machining over transfer seams from incorrect type of teeth, excessive pressure by foot, improper alignment of feet and foot, damaged throat plate, excessive machine speed. So that is about feed damage. Skipped stitches from the hook, irregularly failing to pick up the loop of thread from a needle's eye owing to a number of causes. So skipped stitches is another problem. From the hook, skipped stitches are coming from the hook, irregularly failing to pick up the loop of thread from a needle's eye. So a sewing machine and a needle should pick up the thread continuously. If it is not continuous and if there is problem of picking up the loop of thread from the needle's eye, then it is problematic. Thread breaks arising from too thick a thread for the needle, too thin a thread, needle heat, operator working unrhythmically, or too tight tensions. You know what? Without students, it is boring. Online classes are kind of boring, but we have to follow the instructions of the government, so we are following. Thread breaks. What is a thread break? Too thick thread will break and too thin thread will also break, and a needle heat. So the needle heat also causes break, and operator working unrhythmically. So operator should work rhythmically. If he works unrhythmically, then thread breaks, and because of this skipped stitches may also arise. If the operator works unrhythmically, then also then also skipped stitches may come, and needle damage can also happen because of unrhythmic and unskillful worker, and feed damage can also happen because of the unrhythmic worker. Next one is broken stitches arising from the wrong stitch type, too tight tensions, a badly formed joint in the seam where the second line of stitch runs over the first and cracks it, sharp feeds, and too great a pressure. Broken stitches arising from the wrong stitch type. So wrong stitch type may cause to broken stitches. I got fever, I think. Too tight tensions, that will also cause broken stitches. A badly formed joint in the seam where the second line of stitch runs over the first. So a joint seam where the second line of stitch runs over the first line of the seam, that also creates broken stitches, and then it cracks, and too great a pressure will create broken stitches. Seam grin arising from too loose a tension or too large a stitch, or the use of the wrong stitch type. So let's see what is seam grin. So you can study all these things online also. Actually, there is a lot of material available on the online. So let's see seam grin. When two pieces of fabric are pulled at right angles to the seam, a gap is revealed between the two pieces of the fabric, revealing the thread in the gap. So I don't understand that anyway. This is very small one video. Let's see this. So grin is, this is the meaning of the grin. Okay, grin I know. So grin is laugh or smile broadly, something like that. That is called grin, with a negative meaning. So that is grin. So seam grin means probably the seam has smiled at the person. So something like that. So I don't see any seam grin here. So anyway, so seam grin arising from loose attention, too loose attention or too large a stitch or the use of the wrong stitch type. So seam grin appear. So it's true. Don't think otherwise. Grin means smile broadly with a negative connotation. So seam grin means actually seam should be, so for example, smile, this should be 2 centimeters. Grin means 2.5 centimeters. So seam grin also, the seam length is increased. So that is seam grin. But I am not able to find. So this arises because of too loose a tension or a too large a tension or the use of wrong stitch type. Seam pucker, because of incorrect handling by the operator, misaligned notches or tight thread tensions. So seam pucker occurs because of incorrect handling by the operator, misaligned notches or tight thread tensions. Next one is pleated seams, an extreme form of the item 7 above, where operator has failed to ease in fullness evenly. So because seam pucker, so this is seam puckering. So what is it? Incorrect handling by misaligned notches or tight thread tensions. Because of tight thread tensions, so this is occurring. So this is also puckering. So that is seam puckering. So these are all the defects of seam. Please understand seam puckering. And next one is pleated seam. So an extended version of puckering is pleating. So this is pleating. So it is not showing as a defect, but a pleated seam means these are pleats. So you see in gowns and dresses. So these are pleats. So this is one kind of pleats. So you understood by pucker and pleat. And next one is wrong stitch density. Stitch density. What is density? Density is 200 stitches per centimeter. So that is the density of the stitch density. What is the stitch density of a fabric? 200 stitches per centimeter. What is the density of another fabric? 400 stitches per centimeter. So the density is high of the second thing and the density is high of the first thing. So stitch density should be proper and wrong stitch density should not be there. Too many give rise to jamming and rupture of threads, too few to greening or weak seams. So too many stitches will give rise to jamming and rupturing of fabric threads. Too few to greening I told you already. So too few to greening or weak seams. Uneven stitch density. Next one is wrong stitch density. After that, uneven stitch density. So what is uneven stitch density? We have 4 meters of fabric. It is divided into 4 parts: 1 meter, 2 meter, 3rd meter, 4th meter. In the first 1 meter section, the density is 200. In the second meter section, say B, the stitch density is 250. In the 3rd meter, it is 270. In the 4th part, it is 285. This is what it is: uneven stitch density. So it is not even. The stitch density is not even, then it is called uneven stitch density. Next one is staggered stitch. From faulty feed motion, incorrect needle and other machine parts. So staggered stitch comes from faulty feed motion, incorrect needle and other machine parts. Next one is improperly formed stitches. So let's see staggered stitch if it is there. It won't be there. Oh, it is there. It is very interesting. So that is staggering of the stitch. So you see, it has distorted from the regular size, and that is known as staggered stitch. I want to get a more clear picture. Unbalanced stitch. So this is staggered defect. Improperly formed stitches caused by bad tension, incorrect adjusted timing, ill-fitting machine components, oil spots or stains. So dear students, these are the various kinds of sewing defects. So screen recorder, I have to close. Thank you for patiently listening, because I am not able to, because of cough and cold I was struggling little bit, so excuse me for that.